Good day, everybody. It is currently the 25th of November, 2013, and after a long weekend out here in Japan where we had some pretty decent autumn-like weather, well, big changes in the forecast, and this is going to be having some cascading effects not just in northeastern Asia, but all the way down there towards the tropics. Now, right now, this is a large low pressure area pushing through northeastern China. Already has been dropping some heavy snowfall out here. Also, snowfall being reported in portions of Korea due to that sea effect snow coming across from the west. Also, sea effect snow will be setting up across most of Japan. Even Tokyo are looking at some rain showers. But one of the big topics, actually, if you're in the southern Japanese islands, due to this very strong low pressure area pushing through, was earlier on this morning we saw some pretty severe thunderstorms out here. Now, right now, most of it is lingering just towards east of Okinawa, but just offshore, yeah, there's some pretty nasty storms setting up. Also, Miyako-jima and Ishigaki felt the wrath of this earlier on this morning. I think Okinawa Honto missed the bulk of it, but just towards the north of that, we're looking at some pretty severe storms. As of now, also storms setting up in portions of Shikoku. And all this is going to move its way off there towards the northeast, so including Tokyo. As conditions improve farther off there towards the west and also across much of Korea, Tokyo, throughout most of the evening, looking at rain showers and just a little bit farther there towards the west into the higher elevations, definitely some pretty significant and heavy snow showers. The city itself will not get snow. It's just going to stay a cold rain, nothing pleasant, but definitely the snow will be setting up in the higher elevations. But this is the other big thing. Take a look at the 528 and 540 line. This is what I typically use to gauge where the freezing mark is going to be, about 0 degrees Celsius, and that dips down fairly far going into Thursday and Friday, and we're looking at some cold weather even as far south as much of Kyushu through the overnight hours here. And even into Okinawa, you could be getting into the low teens and possibly maybe the single digits. So it's going to be chilling off. All of Korea looks like below freezing temperatures as well by Thursday night into Friday morning. So that's what we call a cold surge. And the leading edge of that often sets up the northeast monsoon, which I think is going to be a big rainmaker for the areas here across southern Luzon and Visayas. As that does plunge down there towards the south, you have to remember this is some pretty cold air off here, and then we have this warm air across the tropics. So what that happens is we get a little bit of instability. Another thing I want to mention before I start getting in on this cold surge is that I have seen and been asked about this graphic. I don't like to call out other people on Facebook especially, but I've been asked about it numerous times, and if you do see this graphic, I'm not going to show who put this out. Just ignore it. There's no models that are putting out a typhoon developing. We do have an area of cloud cover out there towards the southeast of Guam. You can see it way over here. Very disorganized cluster of storms. But the thing about the tropics, especially into late November, is that you get these cloud covers all the time, and there's so much dry air around this right now. High vertical wind shear off here towards the north, and with that cold surge plunging in later on this week, this area faces such little chance of development at this time, and it's so low that I wouldn't even mention it unless there was this graphic out there. We could be seeing a weak LPA develop there across portions of Plow and Yap, bring some rain showers, but the bigger topic is going to be that cold surge, and the reason why I'm mentioning that is because the last thing out here is you want is more rain showers. Well, if we look ahead into the weekend, what we have setting up here is that cold surge coming down, it clashes, and we just see a persistent rain showers across much of the by Friday and the Saturday. Nothing tropical related. If anything, this is more of a westerly type relation. Now, LPA, that weak one, it's trying to sit right here. Most of the models pick up on that, but not a typhoon by any means. But that persistent showers pushing across southern Luzon and even as far south as Samar. North of that, also looking at some pretty brisk temperatures, at least as far as the Philippines are concerned. That's the GFS model. We can compare it up with the NavGem, and it shows just a weak LPA developing rate in there, nothing too significant. but it could bring some showers. But like I said, the bigger topic is going to be that northeast monsoon. And NavGem also picking up on something else developing way out here and pushing off towards Guam. And I've seen a few models skipping on that, but that's not even going to go remotely close towards the Philippines. Now, this is the European model, and nothing even showing up remotely close here on the 1st of December. You'd think if it was going to make landfall on the 3rd or the 4th, there would be a typhoon out here, but no, it's all the northeast monsoon, just like we were talking about earlier. So with that said, we're going to keep a close eye on it, and I will be standard corrected if I am wrong about this. But at this time, I don't think you have to worry about a typhoon at this time. I think it's that northeast monsoon and the cold surge that's going to come down later on this week. But if you're a big fan of the cold weather, well, off here towards the north, definitely will be seeing it. Some areas over there towards Chongqing, -10 as far as your current wind chills. So do bundle up out there, and thanks for watching, everybody, but always stay safe. Thanks for watching.